pace, will not sure the perceived emissions will be reduced either.
More of the same, we have to
handling your money, maybe it's all those things, you know, how to take it. Then you write it down. Yes. From the research. So it's concepts.
Really, because I have been working with a couple of trials to try to figure this out, but they all have failed. This is getting too complicated.
When they are not.
That's why, because there was like practically, or the main reason was basically that because there wasn't like certain tooling, everyone was like this, and they was like covering their own businesses and actions. So if you take those like a multitude of organizations, everyone is very difficult to be like straightforward. No one wants that.
there is a free implementation, although they need to but they don't. So there is
It's difficult to be online on
two things. Doing surveys as people to
Okay, guys, I am going to stop you. No.
Vem är det?
Finish your sentence.
Nej, det var ITS-firma.
I can put another thing on you that is, as soon as you have delivered the findings, you'll have coffee. I admire your enthusiasm, but I really need to stop you. So feel free to continue discussion during coffee break for 10 minutes. But right now, I would like... you need to stop. So just wanted to hear, just in a couple of minutes, not more, just from group one, some of the benefits, the challenges, and anything we can do about it, or where should we put our focus if we are the ones that are the doers. Can you do that, Tuto, or is somebody else from the group?
Okay, so actually, I think so. I guess from a lot of benefits and challenges will overlap with the other groups about seamless travel, more income, and so on. Let's focus on something completely different, which is, so the minute you start using your own app, one of the challenges might be local rules or regulations when it comes to pricing, on how to go from A to B. So we discussed, for example, you're coming from Denmark, but you don't know the OSO system, so you're just kind of like following your app, but how can your app make sure that it gets the right information? benefit that could come up with solving this challenge would be, well, everything will become simpler. Because then PTAs will be enforced to actually think for the customers and simplify the rules in terms of pricing, maybe also simplify some of the zonal fares and so on. And so a solution could be actually, that challenge could turn into a good opportunity for making everything more simple. So it's also easier to put into standardized data. Good.
Was that it?
You said short.
Yeah. I think I forgot that you should have had the mic. I think we have lost most of the digital audience, but we'll still record. We're still recording the session. So for the benefits of complete record, we'll just use the microphone.
Yeah, so to be pretty fast on this, so we divided on those benefits and challenges, and one of the benefits, I'm not going everything through, but there's a multitude of things that if we do it this similarly across the regions and countries, we will lower the costs of implementation, lower cost of development, lower the cost of maintenance, because we would have like a same background basics on everywhere. And because of that, of course, we will get like a much more better quality data and different places, which will then benefit also to the better rider experience. So how the people are using the PTA systems, they don't need to relearn everything from the ground up when they are shifting places, because the rider experience is based on the same kind of structures, development like platforms and the data. And of course, one of the benefits would be that if the world is going to be open and much more interoperable, then we could also have like a new business models, which is also like a challenges for the PTAs, that we have a new business models, and the world of the PTA isn't like it's kind of a fixed on that particular region, and it has like its own political rules, and everything like which is new requires some stuff. It's difficult to handle in the business perspective. And then we have, of course, legacy systems, legacy things on place. It's sometimes or usually quite hard and sluggish and slow to adapt these like new things and new systems. And one of the where we talked about most of the time is the governance. So because these are the how those like ticket real sellers are placed, and should be like what kind of local needs there are, and what is the like the right to play to the PTAs. This is like a difficult stuff to handle altogether. And we came up like 3 solutions. But first of all, we need this kind of existing use cases, blueprints for the governance and financial models, which could be like existing ones, which could be like shared as like best practices to everyone. How do you get your stuff work in Denmark? How do you get your stuff work in Norway and whatever? And we need like a shared platform, those blueprints of use cases, so that we can scale up the solutions.
Okay, good. Any other comments from the group? So it's a good summary? Okay. This was indeed what you discussed? Okay.
Probably. But important thing was that the Brede didn't have a mic.
Who wants to... Good.
So we had some good discussions. We started with the PTA role. How does it work in the different countries, so that we have the same starting point, and we agree that the difference wasn't that big. On the plus side, we have potential of increased revenue, and we discussed what we meant by potential, because we don't know. We don't have a good documentation on how much that can be increased. So that's something that should be worked on. And then reduced costs. If if all the PTAs in a country, for instance, go together and don't work separately, we can reduce costs, and that gives them a stronger voice. And maybe they can get access to more investments in infrastructure and so on, if they can document that they have a benefit from investing. And then we were talking about that the PTAs, they don't have too much money, and integrations cost money. And it's most likely that they will end up with the bill. So that's also something. Do you have I missed something on the plus side? No? And then on the negative side, that's increased complexity in all aspects, really, when it comes to the technical part, regulations, and collecting payment, GDPR, cybersecurity. It's a lot of issues that will add to the complexity. And data quality from third parties was mentioned earlier. That's also something. And then why are they holding back? Is it fear of losing control? That was
Who is holding back?
The PTAs.
Ah.
Is it fear? We had a lot of fear. Yeah. So if you don't want to add anything, I think that was, yeah.
So this group thinks that if this became a reality, it would create more ridership, also at local PTAs. What about this group? Did you agree?
Yes, yeah.
And this group, more ridership?
Yes, a positive impact on the multi-split.
Yeah, so that must be more ridership, yeah, because it becomes, the digital barrier goes down. Imagine if the DPS in the car was as PTAs operate. That meant as soon as you left Oslo and Agder, you need to change your GPS to another system, another format, and another presentation mode at 110 kilometers per hour. You'd have to go into the site and do it, of course. And you probably also would have to download a new map.
And also find out what's the name of it.
Yeah. But this is what we expect from people using public transport and sustainable mobility. I think the only thing that people who are using it proudly can say, we are damn clever that we can figure that one out. So that's the only thing I can say of positive things on that. Thank you very much for your contribution to this. And again, we will get all the data into digital form and use it in our further process. And guess what? Coffee is served outside, and you have 10 minutes to get coffee and a bio break and whatnot. And then there's a presentation coming up from Estonia of something great, I think inspiring news from the Baltics. And then after that we will discuss how can the NEMU or the roaming principle between nations and use of natural access points be of any help to facilitate that. Again, giving input to people that are on that mission. Coffee first. Thank you very much.
Yes, right.
So they are definitely wanting this Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, the local.
Det var väldigt populärt så those are the
Yeah.
But it was so there is a product.
Yeah, there is a product. It's so rare.
Whereas in Switzerland,
but then
you can talk to Rachel.
Yeah.
but we integrated the
Very many
national radar
have that as
is there and applies everybody.
Either one that is fully paid, free mass, and they also have half price. So you don't pay
For
annual fee,
yeah.
and then also the half
We
price.
want to do the roaming part, but
How do you make money?
oh, with that, so you have
And then
all of the you have the door and you can plan it.
Yeah.
And our manager also sells
All the modes.
22 rail.
Okay.
And that's why
or this
he would like to buy
Annual train kilometers. Wow. Yeah.
We have, of course, our business-based system for the bus transport, but it's quite old. And we are in the way of trying to find a new one. But you don't have?
I don't have any. That's the problem with public organizations that you can develop something of their own. Yeah. So and it's also.
But anyway, the idea is that what we have,
It's not like we want to now we want to buy travel rates and represent somebody else because now there are multiple companies doing that.
yeah.
That's when we started working. Now we have to very from the Norwegian company also to tomorrow they will talk about that.
And are you looking for the market? Are you looking for the market?
Well, it's a surprise piece for us. Trial now is that would it make sense for us to sell
That's because my intention was to start in Bulgaria, to select the date, to start in Bulgaria, then to start connecting my countries and there to replicate what we are doing here. It will be more difficult for us because we are partnering with data, accessibility, and
And of course, I mean, because my background is from the slide startup company, building, so we're a Mars company, Mars. Well, version. Actually, I founded the company in 2015. But then bankruptcy came, but our business continued. That's why I multimodal has only been business so far, but of course, it will be, if I believe in marketplace, markets, so that there is a market for there are private companies that provide then eventually I think we cannot avoid going abroad. So we don't have a strategy for that yet, but yeah, I mean, and we're doing business on both passenger side and the parcel. On the parcel side, it's a big business that we are actually operating ourselves, but we are actually servicing Sweden. So on that side, we have gone abroad, but yeah, whatever. Yeah, name and email me. Usually I just get confidence if you have his name. And you rather want to do it and then what we want to do is like this whole what do we do with business? Give us several from each one. So, and that's once the fact without a higher level, we have three parking lots, and you don't have to first, like if you're a free employer that gives you 30 days to start for we want to make sure that we're not having full of what we're doing when we're doing this, we have to do
You don't have an agreement with so Honda. So that you can use
Exactly, because of the budget side. I mean, if I have someone to feel that at least a little bit, I guess that's
so then
get developed.
have a guide, which stuff to go to, finance, if I you have like, so here it says, you,
Yeah. Does it work? I didn't look for the result. Okay. So you have
This one is smaller.
yeah.
Then travel there.
Yeah, but you can use the guiding thing, so someone will tell you where to go, someone will tell you where to go.
So why don't you make it below? Very challenge.
Yeah, it's what we want. So we were the first day, we want these whole things. So actually, the only thing you need is how you shape data sets. Everybody agrees that this is it consists of I don't know, number of kilometers. So if it's a master train or phone, if you're adult or
exactly, that's why that's why I'm asking, because I will use that data portal to arrange the whole thing, and then send money to
but then the yes, and then to agree on this data set.
okay, well, let me give you my
I can sell it. I actually just agree on the data. And also I agree to try something. So it's basically the same idea.
Area where you have so there is visualization, fast multiplication, kind of counting, measuring.
Yep. Yeah. So here you can see. So it's still connected to the shared train.
Whichever interpretation of the thing is all the same.
It's an algorithm, so there's 15 costs per kilometer. The first kilometer is much less than the last one. There's a boarding cost. Just to drive.
Ibland är det bra man utan det.
Price levels are approach.
Of course. Just give me your email address and I can send you.
Thank you.
So guys, I think I don't know if we are ready, but we better be ready. As you can see, we're a little bit late, but I assume that being a little bit late means that we have shared a lot more between us, so well, I'll live with that. The last kind of workshop, we'll see how that evolves. But the first thing here is that we're going to get a presentation from Estonia and it is Madis Sasiat who is going to do that, and it's kind of give you some inspiration on what are the thinking process right now in Estonia. It does not necessarily mean it's the same thinking that's going on in the other two Baltic countries, but we can talk about that a little bit later. But here, just as an inspiration, what is cooking in Estonia, and I think it'll just put this one on like this, and you can take that in any pocket.
Okay. So you can hear me, I guess, hopefully. Oh, it works. Okay, thank you. So I will give you a small glimpse what we are doing at the moment in Estonia. So I'm part of Estonian national kind of a team, I would say, as a representative of Tallinn as a capital. And there is many of those ministries and agencies involved who all are somehow responsible to make the change in the public transportation and in overall achieve the goals in this topic. Just to give you sort of understanding what we are doing, so basically we have idea to create sort of public and national-wide mobility platform. And we have made this kind of, actually me and my colleagues in Tallinn we have already started, or we made the first tender, let's say 2022. Then we started this kind of a mass tender, which was made as a kind of a joint project with second biggest city in Estonia, Tartu, and where we tried to combine all the public and private transport modes together. And we also had the idea to put this kind of a journey planning in place and payment services, everything. And the main goal was, like I told, develop this kind of a mobile app, which makes it possible to combine all of the different means and modes of transportation together, door-to-door basis. And it was the main idea to put it as a kind of alternative possibility to the own car, which is the main idea as well in many cases. So just to give you understanding that this system, just to give you, go back. So this system was made in a way that it was financed by the Estonian one agency. They required us to make this kind of innovative tender, which means that we didn't get the ownership from anything. We just let them, the providers, to build up their own MaaS application. And in final, we actually achieved to get the MaaS application ready. But unfortunately, it failed in final because there were no integrations with any of those mobility operators, privately owned mobility operators. But we were expecting to get as well. So there was no scooters, no taxis, no shared cars, nothing. So it wasn't possible to test even. So that's why we just waste some time. And I can say that we got a lot of experience, and now we studied it again, that we understood that the main problem is not about this kind of system or technical point of view and the kind of tendering, but it is more about this kind of collaboration. And at the same time, we understood that also the problem is not in a level of the kind of commercial agreements, which is also quite big issue, but at the same time, there is also no APIs from mobility operators. So we made 2 steps back. We started the project again in a way that we made it much easier. Only goal was to get all of those providers, mobility providers, into one service, into one map, to make them to show up all the vehicles and the fleets. And so we made this kind of interactive mobility information screens in Tallinn, which are now already in place in main railway station and park and ride facilities and the coach terminal, and we will make them more. But at the same time, we made it ready that all of those mobility operators, they have now the technical ability to make the fleet available to whichever third party. So the APIs that now we have made up, and by this project, it was the biggest, let's say, goal for us, not only the kind of information screens, which is also quite interesting thing for the users, but also the situation that we didn't have the APIs, and now we have. So now I'm talking about this kind of a new project we have now cooking, and it is a new tender coming up tomorrow. It will be published. So it is finalized, and I can already give you sort of understanding how it is working. So the main idea is to start this kind of MaaS X gateway, I would say. It's kind of a gateway, or we call it as a gate. It's just so simple which is unifying all the registries where we are able to understand if a person has the possibility to get some sort of a discount. For example, the national registries like the address registry or population registry, which is giving us a possibility to understand if it is living in Tallinn, for example, because Tallinn residents or habitants do have access to the free transportation, but no others. So we need to understand if the person is living in Tallinn, then it is possible to give him or her the ticket for free. Or if the person is under certain age, then it is also some cases it is free. Or if it is studying in the school, then there is some sort of a discount, or there is a disability or whatever. So there is many of those registries. We need to check if it is working, or is it like possible to give him or her this kind of a discount which he deserves. Then there is this system where each of a county and each of a municipality does have their own ticketing systems. So this is kind of a nightmare, I can say, but each of them have made their own tender. So it makes it like a very big mass of different systems, which each of them doesn't connect at all. So each of them have certain different governance, the local municipalities, and they each of them have their own ideas how to make the discounts and the tickets and prices and whatsoever. So that's what we need to make it kind of unified, and this is the goal of this tender, that we try to took them all together into one gate, let's say. It is kind of a gateway we call. And so it makes it easy for anyone, as like a third party, to make the connection and understand the exact ticket price with already validated and kind of checked kind of discount. So it is giving exact price, what it is if you use this service or this public transportation service. And then it is like a third party, the mass operator, I just put there many of them, or whichever actually. It can be also the cinema or the, I don't know, the kind of a gym who makes this kind of app available and connects it to our this gateway and can give certain prices for getting to this place in certain prices. So this is the main idea, that we are creating at the moment this gateway, which is anyway needed. Even I understood that in each of Nordic countries, you do have this kind of a thing already made up. So I believe we are making the same. So we will be in the same level. And there will be very easy to make the connection to any of other services which are available already. So we are asking in this tender now, make or develop us this gateway, first of all, and make the first pilot or kind of integration with a mass operator who can be whoever. In this sense, we just need to understand it is working. That this mass operator, we don't want to have any IP or any other things. We just need to understand that it is really working and the connection is good enough to make it available for each of third party. So this is coming up tomorrow. So I will just give you more glimpse on this one. So the central gateway is for connecting the operators, provides the neutral, reliable information on the travel rights, and supports the state-subsidized public transportation ticket products. And this one was just to understand you that the mass gateway will be owned and will be delivered for the government. So this remains us. But another one, which is the mass operator functions, we call it as like a user interface. This is what we just need for the testing. So it can be whichever, and it is we expect to make this kind of a 3 months testing with 200 users, just to make this kind of a proof of concept that it is really working and everything is okay. So there is some functions we expect. There is nothing special, I would say. Everyone can do whatever with their own app, I believe, and we just provide the exact prices for the public transportation. So the technical requirements that we expect to get is that we have in final this kind of a detailed API interfaces, and as well the test and live environment, automated test environments for integration, and as well the documentation and guidelines for the gateway integration. So it needs to be made in a way that it is well understood and easy to understand, and easy to integrate and make it without any additional resources from our governmental and state side. So they can do the automated tests, and then it should work already. I hope that it is like that. We don't need to put our additional people to work there for integrating many of those. So we hope that it will be open for the one who really wants and get this kind of integration ready without our kind of involvement. Then there is quite a big issue with clearing and payments, I would say. There is one option that it will be centralized clearing via mass gateway, and it is second option that separate agreements by each operator. We took at the moment or decided that take the option 2. So basically we don't make this kind of a centralized clearing at the moment, but this is one of the options we are thinking of. But it is definitely one of the biggest challenges. I can say that in the Europe level as well, I have heard already that the European Commission is kind of thinking how to make it available in overall. But it is very, very big issue, and I can say that there is many challenges involved, and it is very much regulated area as well. So it needs to be thought through and be kind of centralized in a way somehow, but at the same time, we should have the same kind of a standard in final all over Europe, because it is very much the issue in each of the country the same. Then we have been thinking to add, it's kind of a continuation, definitely we don't stop there, that we will need to make sort of a account for citizens, mobility account, as like it is at the moment for telecom services, for example. Of course, it is in a way that you use your own whatever telecom provider. You pay for the services after you have already used the services after 1 month, let's say. It is usually paid in a way that if you make the prepayment, it is also option, which is okay, but in overall you make the payment afterwards. So in this sense, the telecom is taking the risk that you will use so much of services that it is not possible to get the money out of you, but then there is some procedures you need to face that they will collect the money from you anyhow, somehow. So this is the same, I believe, that if you want to make the public transportation very, let's say, attractive to the people, we should make it as easy as it is in telecom, in my opinion. So that's what we are thinking in this mobility account, that there is some sort of a national guaranteed mobility account, which is guaranteed by the government or the state. And then after, you can use as many of transport services as you want, but you will pay in a month basis. That's what you can already see, that there is also the tax-free benefits maybe we can make afterwards, because it is possibility to lower some of the taxes if you are using the shared transportation, not your own private transportation. And it covers the public transport and shared mobility services, so everything. And what it makes it also possible that there is a lot of micro payments, which is very, very expensive, even to the bigger mobility operators. It is taking away like 10% or even more sometimes. So this one is going to lower, definitely, because we are making one-time payment, and then it is much easier to the people as well. And so it is decreasing the cost of usage. That's in addition to the subsidization and the tax-free benefits. So it's like an additional possibility to encourage people to start using the public transportation. Then it benefits definitely what I see that it is a kind of a mass adoption by users and employers. Employers are very, very important here. Increase the trust in mass operators and supports, of course, this sustainable thinking and transparent and user-friendly. And what I see that in Estonia, for example, there is some sort of, I would say, kind of an interesting thing that we, as in a political level or legal level, there is easy to get some sort of money from employer for the employee if it is using, or he or she is using his own car. Then it is like 550 euros. You are getting sort of a free transportation or not paid for the taxes. So that it's kind of a tax-free. But in the public transportation, there is not such a level at all. So it is kind of putting you in a position that you definitely use the car because it is giving you sort of advantage. So that's what we need to, at least in Estonia, we need to change. So that's basically it. On the left side, you see this app we finally achieved to make in this mass tender at the very, very beginning, but was lacking the integrations. But we still had this possibility to make all the journey planning and everything. And here it is in Estonian that please start the ride, and all those kind of trips are available. So that's from my side. Thank you.
First of all, I would like to see if there's any questions. There must be, because this is kind of a new approach. So.
This is quite a stupid question, but what are you using as a journey planner service there? Is it something that you built yourself or purchased from the market?
You mean in this...
This kind of a test journey planning scheme? Yeah.
In this MAS, we made them, the supplier, to come up with their own journey planning. But in this information screen or mobility screen, we made it in a way that they had to provide the journey planning for us. So we own the very good journey planning functions, but it is not used in this new tender. So we left it open. So we can, or we let to use whichever kind of journey planner, whatever the supplier has. So it's free to make their own.
And there are no stupid questions. And not even stupid answers. So another good question? Oops.
Madis, you said that you go for option B, so not a centralized clearing. It would be somehow agreements from the mass operators or mass app suppliers with each operator and do separate agreements. Do you have somehow a framework how these agreements look like, or is that you somehow need to go to everyone and do that in an individual way?
Yeah, we at this very tender, what we have or we will publish now, there will be required only 2 connections or 2 this kind of integrations. One is with Tallinn, which is easy. We are involved. We can provide every kind of APIs which is needed, and we have already made it up. So, and second is Tartu. So this is also ready. So we don't expect anything else at this very first tender. We just expect that it will be kind of giving us answer that it is really working, and we expect that in final, definitely after this tender, we will come up some new plan how we're gonna enlarge the system and make it usable for all the people in Estonia. But at the moment, it is kind of a silent pilot. So it is not so kind of published and promoted. It will be very, very limited usage. Like I said, 200 people we expect to get there.
Okay. Other questions? Yep.
Thank you. We previously in the workshop, we talked about the problem of knowing your customer when you go with a centralized clearing house for ticketing, because usually operators, they like knowing who travel on their network. So will your mass application, I see it was account based. So will you share the account details with each operator that will benefit from the system so they know the profile of people traveling, or they can reach out to them?
No. It's not required at the moment. As in Tallinn, we don't collect this kind of information as well. So we didn't expect this information to be collected in this tender. It is kind of a question of privacy. So we have some sort of regulations that we need to follow in this context. That in overall, yes, we can track and trace each of a person, but in fact, we don't collect this information at all. In fact, we do many other ways how to collect the data. First of all, we count the number of the passengers who are entering to the vehicle and who are exiting the vehicle in each of stop. We also do the kind of, let's say, anonymous surveys in a way that we collect the information where the people are requested or ask or will need to give us sort of daily diaries where they are traveling and how. And we also keep track in the sense that there those people are living in overall and where they are working based on the mobile data. So we know exactly where they are going and coming. So we do have this kind of information quite good, how the people are moving, at least in Tallinn. I don't say that it is the same in the national level. I have found that as a government and the Estonian let's say ministries who are responsible for that, they don't have a clue what the people are or how they are moving in Estonia. So we are kind of making or explaining them what they need to do, but they say that they don't have enough capacity. We as a Tallinn, we have a lot more in some level, but we do have quite a good data, I can say, and we are modeling the transport modes and not transport modes, but the lines, how to make it better all the time.
Yeah, a comment to it also. I don't see the big difference there because both ways you store a lot of data, but one in central ways and one distributed. But what the argument we often see that PTA is not willing to share and open up to sell tickets through other platforms is they are afraid of losing access to their data. So it's important to build system and so they have access to the data. When we build a national access point in Norway, we say that it's not our data. It's the data for the PTAs and PTOs. And we store them on behalf of them, and we need to share them back that they can reuse it and give more value to them. We open up the market and can sell more tickets, but we are not interested to take over their ownership of their data. It's still their data.
Well, just to say, we are not afraid to give up this kind of a data if it is needed for some reason and it is kind of justified that it is really needed. We have already making a lot of collaboration with many of those universities and some other companies who are interested to give us some help or whatever. The second is that we are not afraid to give it as like to third level of app provider. It's okay, and we love all of those people and the startups and companies who are trying to make something good in our city or in Estonia. So we engage them as much as we can and encourage to come to Estonia to make the things happen. So we are open to make these kind of things in collaboration, for sure.
Yeah, I have a question about discount systems integrations. That's very interesting. We have integrated the state student discount system in Finland, and that is something that all the transport providers, I guess, have done. HSL has done it, and we have done it. So there is a system for that, and there's an API for that. But then there is a different system for the normal student. This is the second, like the high school students. But then there is the university students, and that's a different system. And then of course we have these small pupils who have the possibility to travel for free, and that's managed by the municipalities. And there is no system for that. No, there's no account system for that. So they are just manually handled. And then what I was thinking is that the commercial operators have their loyalty programs, and they are actually the same. The PTAs have their account-based systems. What is the TV, Yles and what are they in English? The TV operators, they have also their accounts. So there are a lot of accounts. And so this is something very interesting that how to get all these. And have you actually, and I think in Estonia, it might be easier because you have already done quite a lot of work on that side. You have these national digital ID systems, so maybe have you already?
Let me try to answer to your question. So basically, question is about the discounts and how to measure them. So basically, there is unlimited number of discounts, I can say. It is really challenging because each of the county and each of, let's say, the public transport provider is doing their own kind of discounts and systems. So now we are mapping them in real. It is huge list of the different discounts which are available and how these are measured. So in principle, in final, they go to exactly the 3 or 4 registries. But where they are living, what is the age, what is the disability or something, and do they have some sort of subscription to the school, let's say. So that is the one we can take out from those registries. We only need to understand what is the principle on behind of discount, what they are having or getting or giving. So this is the idea, that what we are mapping is that what is the principle behind of those. And then we can already make the kind of formulas to make it happen. It's easy in this sense, in final. But at the beginning, I can say there is huge amount of them. No one even, we were not even aware how many of them are. So it is a huge amount, I can tell. Each of this kind of separated county is making their own, as they have their own freedom to make them. So that's a big challenge for us at the moment. But it is easy to solve, in my opinion.
And from the net?
Yeah, don't shoot the messenger. So if this has been answered, so that shows my ignorance of not following it, by paying attention. Sorry, Madis. But this is from Marko Forsblom in Finland. So you can then call him ignorant of not following. Yeah, we can shoot it. Have you thought this MassX gateway to be an Estonian platform, or are you planning to build a European or even a global one? Or is it a platform or more like an open plug-and-play interface layer? Is it more business-driven solution or transport policy-driven? Why didn't you come here, Marco, and just be part of this, as you've been following all day? Well, we know Marco very well, so that's why, if you wonder why I'm bullying him online, Sorry, Madis?
Yeah, well, this one is actually very national, local national level kind of a solution, as we do have this available in Estonia, and in fact also the same kind of system is available in Finland. So in Finland, for Marco's sake, I can say that it is easy to duplicate to there as well. But in other countries, I don't know, it's much more challenging. And it is sort of, I think each of national system needs to be, in this sense, a little bit different. And as much as I have heard, you have it already. So basically, there is nothing for you to do again. So this one is pretty much the same what you have already achieved. And we will be ready next year. And so we can start whatever kind of additional layer to build on top of that. So that's making us as a kind of a possible cooperational partner for every one of you. That's what my understanding is.
Okay, I have a question on. I don't see national access point anywhere.
Well, you can name it as like a national access point.
But is it?
We don't consider it as a national access point, but we can definitely rename it. It is also okay, but I don't know, is it how much it is connected to this as a requirement of a national access point? Is it the same or is there anything?
Because what you have presented here is a system that is not compatible with the national access point as I see it, because it's not been thought as a transmodal build-up standard-wise. So I'm just wondering, why are you doing this? What is the rationale of making a system that is non-standardized?
Well, we definitely have ideas that we need to make it based on some of the standards. We already have studied the VOB and this OSDM. So these are the ones we are following, at least. Regarding all the other standards, we just need to make it in a way that in final it can match to the real need of a final standard, which is required by the Europe or some other entity. In fact, we just need to make it happen at the beginning, that each of connection is made and we can see that it is working. In fact, in final, we can change or make it easily or make it according to the standards easily. It's not so big.
But you're not putting it as a requirement. That's what I'm not understanding, because if you're making this as people can decide what they want to develop their protocols, that means that I can guarantee you this will be incompatible with anything in Europe. Also, the other thing is that you are part of the European Union, and thereby you're obliged, at least the public transport authorities are obliged to deliver data in NETEX into the national access point. It's been that for a couple of years now.
Yeah, well...
so I'm just understanding, why are you trying to do something different?
Well, you just need to make the sort of explanation in this sense. We do have the standard and public available information regarding all the stops, the schedules, everything. So it is in this very common standard which is everywhere. Also the real-time kind of movements of transportation. So this is in place already. Mm-hmm. What we are missing is this kind of information regarding the understanding if the person has a sort of let's say valid option to get the discount. So then that what is given, I believe we can use the NETEX, I don't mind, because it's kind of a system which is already there and it is existing. But let me say that I'm not the person who is very good in this detail level technical things, but at the same time I can say that some people have already put it in this document also, this kind of technical requirements which are somehow applicable to the national access point. I hope so, that it is there.
Yeah.
We have now actually several questions.
Yeah. So just...
And then one of these are 3 and 4. But
yeah. So... yeah. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cancel the third workshop because of timing, and I think we are well into that workshop now with a little twist, because I think the situation we have here is that we're having a situation that what is presented here is not really the route that we're going, and we just have to understand why, and maybe what have we done wrong, or what has EU done wrong that we are in this situation. I'm not putting any blame on you, but it's just interesting to figure out why. So, who had the? Was it you, Inga?
I have the mic. So I'm the first one. Yeah. I think a couple of words we need to talk about. First one is open source. Open source tools make this as open source. Second one is data driven, because the questions raised here regarding discounts, products, pricing, service, etc., all this is possible to model within NETEX. And the work which we will do within SEN to actually make better fare profiles, make better guides, and also the API for sales will solve a lot of these problems. So our vision is, you can see on a national access point, feeding the services with data, and the services use this data, and it should be able to use them cross systems without any problems. And then you will have a data-driven solution. So if you put in all this discount and age and price, where is the pricing engine, for example? What is the pricing rules? All of this you can data model. You have to be a unified way of doing it. You have to build open source stuff and then be data-driven, and then you can actually solve a lot of stuff without any problem. Because all of this, all the question I hear here today, you can actually model it today in today's NETEX world. It's fully possible to do.
Thank you.
So that's 2 words: open source and data driven.
That open source, it is already somehow considered. It is under the legal kind of department at the moment, if it is possible and how. So that what will be solved in the future, I hope.
Yes, yeah, we can model it, but I think you are too little demanding. Not you especially, but everybody here, because if you say you have a long list, like you did like this, with different discounts and yeah, categories of tickets, or then if you show that, and that has been decided over time. So if you show the list to the politicians, whoever can decide, is this reasonable? Then the answer is no. You should say, clean it up and cut it. Don't move the mess into a new system. That's something I thought about.
Yeah, well, totally agree. There is many of things I would do somehow differently than politicians have made the decisions. But this is not, let's say, I don't want to start fighting with something which I don't win. So in this sense, yeah.
Yeah, since I was nearby, I don't think I'm the next one, but I wanted to. Someone already used the mic privilege before, so
I can speak louder. Yeah.
What I wanted to say is that this is clearly not a one-off case of a new platform being developed while standards are in place that doesn't use the standards. I actually have a very good example from my own country. Romania has built an integrated railway ticketing platform for all the national operators 2 years ago. So it was standard in 2023, and every standard we are talking about was already in place. Legislation was already in place. And despite all of that, it's a completely proprietary and closed system, which doesn't follow any standard. No NetX, no OSDM. There's no functional access point for nothing in the country. And a sum that I don't want to even think about was poured into the integrated ticketing platform, which even ended up with the extremely stupid limitation that you cannot buy a single ticket from a single operator. If you try doing that, it will redirect you to the operator's website, and it will it was too complicated to sign an agreement that lets them distribute a one-off single ticket for a single operator. So basically the app is limited to, you can only use it if your trip combines 2 operators. So this was a very expensive project developed from the ground up, completely proprietary, completely closed source, which doesn't follow any standard. And at least we are not alone. I see it's happening in other places as well. I'm sure there were many less resources poured into this one compared to what was poured into our national integrated ticketing platform. So at least that's something, and it's a bit more modular. So I'm sure it can be fixed if there's if a functional access point comes at a later time. As I checked, and Estonia also doesn't seem to have one. So, or it doesn't work. If you try to access the national access point, it redirects you to a journey planner. So there's no way to get the data out of it, or at least not that I could find easily. So we are in kind of the same situation, but with this kind of system, which is clearly modern and modular, if the national access point becomes operational, it can be hooked up to that, whereas ours cannot, as it's a monolithic block of application.
And who else has the microphone?
Was it someone else before me? No? You asked Søren about what have we done wrong. I think it's not only one answer to that. It's a lot of things. And it's a lot of things for complete Europe. We have told Europe to build their own NetX profile for several years. I tried to stop that 2-3 years ago. I think I succeeded in July this month. Finally, we now are agree in the NAPCOR project to talk about one recommended NetX profile. We have already started with the French organization to harmonize the Nordic and the French profile, and Swiss, Austria, and Netherlands will follow soon. Then we will get one direction of the plan, timetable data, the fares data, and so forth. And you told me that you had asked for a tender thing, but led to the winner of the tender to decide what they are developing.
Not really.
And they could choose which trip planning engine they should use and so forth.
Yeah, Journey Planner is different story. It is considered as a kind of user interface. So it should use the basics what we have already in place, like the stops and schedules and the real-time data, which are available right now even. But we don't have the information regarding the ticketings or the integration of ticketing systems and all the discounts. Yes.
For what we see, what I see when I travel around Europe and also outside, is that very many are asking their software providers, or the tender is asking for specific solution, but you are then just paying a lot of money, tons of it, to a software provider. If you instead go the open source way, and what you benefit from building the competence in-house in your organization. So what I like to emphasize is having a tender process. We do that in Norway as well. But in a tender, we ask for people, we ask for knowledge, skills. And then we bring that back to our organization, and we build a culture, we build a new way of thinking. And if it's to succeed with that in other countries as well, what can we then do when we bring those skills and knowledge together in the next technology change that will come in some years?
Sure.
Marco again?
No, it's not Marco, so I can't bully. I'm going to be serious now. It's actually a serious question, so it's good. Thank you for the question online from Gretel. One of the benefits listed in supporting CO2 reduction targets, one of the benefits listed is supporting CO2 reduction targets. What specific metrics or KPIs will Estonia use to measure how mass adoption contributes to emission reduction and modal shift? Yeah, that's what I said. It was a very good question. So that's why I was being my serious face. Marco is probably online, yes. I will hear for this forever, but okay, yeah. I'm safe here.
So first of all, there is some, let's say, we measure most of things in the surveys. We have some, let's say, sensors all around the city at the moment as well, that we are measuring the CO2 level in real time all the time. And we have sort of, let's say, understanding how it is working or how it is going or what are those trends. In this kind of very specific kind of, I know there is many of those systems available which are in place and made up to measure those kind of sustainability goals. In my knowledge, we don't have implemented those yet. So if it is the answer that can be enough at the moment.
Who else needs the mic?
At least not Marco.
Are we about having... In that case, I think we'll let you
get back to your seat, and thank you very much for your introduction to what the thinking is in Estonia, and definitely that's been a learning experience for me, and maybe for the whole crowd, that there's still work to do to harmonize. But you have to start from somewhere, and it's better than doing nothing. Okay, cool. Thank you very much. So I think that leaves us. I'm just going to spend just a couple of minutes on what it is, how we're seeing it from the NEMU and maybe the NEMU-RIC program. Also, so the cross-border traffic in the Baltic Sea region, I mean, there's a lot of cross-border traffic there. And not only as for the continental Europe, there's a lot of land-based cross-borders, but here there's a lot of sea-based cross-borders as well. So that's why ferries are so important. That's why Matkahuolto has that important task to get a hold through on that agenda. As you can see, there's plenty. And I have at least tried this one. There's one going here down to Latvia. So they are there and they're sailing, and there are passengers on them. Also passengers that I can see continue on train. So I was not the only one. That's kind of good. So how can we make that easier in the future? And how also the other thing that is going to happen is that there is a new Baltic railway being built right now, and that'll actually create a land connection down to Poland and Germany, and thereby to the rest of Europe, and even for going up to Denmark, it will actually be faster than taking a ferry across and go down. So something is happening, and it's heavily funded, of course, by the EU. And with the new political situation, it kind of gets more critical. I think delays will be minimized as much as possible within, even though there has been some delays. We really need that train line both for civil traffic, but also for some more heavy-duty transport, unfortunately. But it also means that from Helsinki gets another escape to Europe, then crossing over to Sweden, if you want to go on the ground and sea. So something is going on there. Thereby, there's also a need to make that connection way simpler to use. And that's why, so it actually means a lot. From even between the three Baltic countries, we are reducing the transit time substantially so that it can really compete. It can easily compete with flying. So there will be a completely new transport situation in that. For the Swedes and for the Norwegians and from the one crossing, they will also get 2 hours faster time to Hamburg soon because of the tunnel in Fehmarn. So we are looking into a bright future in the real world. So how can we make it super simple to book that travel as easy as it is to book air travel? That's what we are. And this is why one of my favorite next projects is how the Baltics could join into the Nordic ecosystem that we're building here in the NEMU. And basically following the same model as Entur has done here in Norway. It's very basic. Make a damn good stop register and make all the static and dynamic mobility data available in NetEx and Siri on a national level. No way to escape. and use the Nordic profile because that is the most advanced, and we know it works. It works for Norway. If it can work in Norway, it can work everywhere. Use open source. I think you've heard that a couple of times today. And by all means, I'm sure that you could go today into GitHub, say, copy everything Ento is using, and paste it into this one, and this one, these 3 countries. Tomorrow, you would be on your way. It can't be easier than that, but it just means that you take another approach, that instead of having to say that we're going out to third parties and say, could you please come and do something along the lines that we would like to have? No, we're saying you have to do exactly the same as everybody else is doing. We need standards. 220 volts does not matter as a standard if you have different plugs. So that's, and then as we have good quality data from those 3 countries, we put them into the open trip planner. Then suddenly we also both have the transport on land, but we also have the transport on sea covered between Sweden and the Baltic countries. It's mostly Sweden. There's also something from Poland and Germany, and they would like to have them as included as well. So, but that means that we can actually, in this open trip planner, we can go throughout the whole Nordic Baltic region in one go. Both for the long distance travel, but also for taking a tram in Tallinn. And I'm afraid I'm one of those who has to pay because I'm not living in Tallinn. I'll be happy to pay. I think it is reasonable priced. So this is basically, this is the dream of how we could expand the NEMU approach. And this workshop we're not going to do. How did we do it? Instead, we'll just do it. But in principle, it is just, we did the same exercise on the Nomad program for the NEMU. And we have also today given some advice back to Estonia. And that means that you have just managed to avoid a workshop. How about that? And that means that we are now ready for the closing panel discussion. So, Brede, Johanna, Nina, and me, and Hanne as moderator. If you could come up here, then we'll take a little what have we learned today thing. And that's the final point before we before Hanne says goodbye.
It's promising when the panel is leaving. The other microphone. So, but I guess we can start with picking up what Søren was.
Are you okay by standing? Or? Yeah, okay.
Yes. Good. Do they look old? No. What Søren was saying, it has been tested out, this concept in Norway. And when we started that journey, and I was lucky enough to be a part of that start, we didn't have any proof that this would work. So it was a hell of a battle, I would say. I don't know if that's why Brede left, but a couple of the people in the room joined me on that journey. And it wasn't the easiest way that we chose, going for the NetX as a standard and doing everything in another way that it was used to be done before. So welcome back. But now we see that it works. And my question to you is, how do you get that vision to work, Søren?
what you say, that if it works in Norway, it can work anywhere. And I guess you're right in some way. But so what are the advice from the people that has done it before, from the people trying to do it? And yeah, so feel free to.
Would you like to start, Breda?
Since you didn't hear the questions.
And you think you can grab the mic? If you go back to one of the slides you had there with the map.
Oops. Is this one? Or?
That one, yeah. That's fine. What we see here today is that we have a OpenShift planner today with the Nordic countries in one. What could help here is having one with the Baltic countries as well. And then we can use the Open Journey Planner API specification, which is also part of MMPs, to link those together. Then we can benefit from the power in OpenShift Planner in both regions, and we can link them together. And we can prove that the next step of MMTs and the regulation standards in Europe is also working. This is also that Jaakko is leading a project in the NAPCOR.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. But what we need here is to very much talk about the NetX theory, but OpenShift Planner supports well GTFS as input. So we don't need to convert GTFS to NetX to have this vision of CERN to work. We can build a pipeline which supports both NetX and GTFS so that we can validate and use both of them into the same system and get into scale. Yeah.
Easy as that. Is it for free? And can Johanna make money on it?
Our solution is free, and there is a French company, Okina, that has downloaded everything on GitHub and won tender and runs the school traffic for 2 regions, 24 million people, I think. So, but you need people to run it, yeah.
Yeah, so okay. So the question of resources, yeah, Entur is a big organization, a lot of resources. So that's of course one thing, and we are very happy to use those resources. Yeah, but we definitely have been talking about the, you know, and that comes to the Finnish situation that we are running now 4 OTP instances in Finland. So yep, 4. So we railway, Fintraffic, and HSL, and yeah. So definitely there is cleaning up to do, and I think there might be a future there, and then it gets easier. What was the question? Free. Yeah, that is a very big question, and we are also kind of finding out the answer for that, because if we go back to the beginning of this day, so yeah, we started doing this business in 2020, and it was kind of a pilot. Yeah, there is some kind of benefit out of this travel chain things, and we started doing that. Why we can do it is because we are also providing the normal, you know, systems for our customers. So we have our normal business there backing us, but that might not be the case in the future. So the point is that alone is not a business yet to anyone. So it's something that needs to be combined to some other business. So that is my feeling at this point. But difficult to say about the future.
Well, I think for the other thing that is interesting here is that we are, in this project, we are also testing whether you need to be a public owned with the whole Norwegian oil billions in the back to do this, or you could do it as a private operation where any development needs to actually get approval from the board that this was actually give a return on investment for Matkahulto. So that's also a test in this project that we are working. But the ambition is, of course, that your long-distance buses will get more passengers, because we get more of the people from the ferries into the buses and onto the trains, instead of they hiring a private bus or they renting a car in the harbor. So it's that, or they even not bringing the car along on that ride across, because it also is a complication that you need to bring your car and to travel with that. So, but I mean, we are testing. We are testing. Yeah.
And then playing the ball to Nina, because we are testing, we are learning a lot, we are cooperating with what you have learned from the NEMU project today and prior to this. What are your, could you elaborate a bit from Nordic innovation perspective? Is this what you foresaw when you gave the money to this project? Do we work according to your vision?
Very good question, Hanne. And you started the day by referring back to the Nordic vision. And what we did know is that when we started the Nordic Mobility Program and we first got in touch and the Nomad then project was established, it was that we cannot reach the Nordic vision. We cannot have regional integration and a green transition, a transition to sustainable mobility without what you are trying to achieve in the NEMU project. So at an overall level, it's definitely what we hoped for. And I will leave all the technical details to the rest of the panel. I had no idea what it needed, but what we did know was that this is a very complex challenge that I heard and understood from the start. But by bringing, you know, many of you represent the public sector, the private sector. There is a need to find business models that will work. Otherwise, there will be no green transition, for instance. It will not work in the long term. But bringing all types of actors together, not necessarily in the same room, but in the same project under a shared vision, then you get things to start moving. And you get to break down complexity into pieces that you can actually handle. Step by step was mentioned by several people here today, and I think that's the way to go. So a shared vision, and I would also say that an important part of the project is not only trying to achieve seamless, connected, multimodal, sustainable mobility, it's also the RIG. And in your case, the RIG is the Nordic Plus collaboration. And that is the key to future success, to the success of the NEMU project, but also all the projects that will follow later. So don't forget that that is an achievement in itself, to create the Nordic Plus, the RIG. So congratulations on having achieved that.
Thank you. And also, I think what's needed and what can be seen in this room today, there is a need for some strong enthusiasts, because this doesn't happen all by itself. So, but are there enough enthusiasts outside this room?
No. But I think what really I've tried to think about, why is it that Norway has managed to go that far with the national access point? One thing is that other countries are doing is, oh, we have to put things in the national access point. Okay, we'll do it. Into the national access point, mission accomplished, and we just go on with our business. Is anybody using those data? No. So if nobody is using the data that you're putting in, of course it'll die. The national access point only have a life if you're using the data. What Norway has managed to do is to not only be the ones that are proving that the quality of data has to be good, they're also making use of it. What comes in as good input comes out as good output, and joining with the other elements, it becomes bigger. and it becomes easier to use. So if your country, where you're coming from, are only putting data in, but not using it and not testing the quality of it, why bother at all? Yeah, we're doing it because we are obliged to do it. Yeah, but if you're obliged to do it, why do you not take advantage of it? So that is basically the learning that I have so far on why Norway have had success and why others are failing. Because in reality, they have chosen a different path, for good or bad.
And we have succeeded to have usage of our data. And Kjell-Erik is asking each month how many and who are using my data. And the Ministry of Transport asking the same. I don't know. I don't want to know, is the answer. And they require a number, so we started to give a number of requests to the OTP per month. We saw that that number is going to increase over time, so that's a safe number to pick. So we started to, I think, 300,000 requests per month. Now we have passed 1.4 billion. So they are smiling, happy, and sending us more money. And the reason that we don't want to know who is using our data is that we want it to be used as soon as we put on any hurdles for them to use the data. They won't use it. And what we can say today, the most important users of our data is the PTAs and PTOs that send us the data. Because they are using themselves they're using Optree Planner in their FAA, and they are using the NetX data in other internal systems, building themselves out of lock-in situations, starting to open up new possibilities for them, saving money on something that they can use on something else. So we are starting a new shift in the whole industry in Norway. Yeah.
But if I may add, don't necessarily wait for enthusiasts, because maybe it's too early for that. People want to see the real thing before you can expect enthusiasm. And with innovation, it takes time. You have to have something to present before you can get the reactions. So be a bit patient about that. And of course, we all need to be ambassadors and tell people what they would want to ask for.
I think there are a lot of enthusiasts out there spending the last weekend with Johan and Isabel and 100 open source enthusiasts in Vienna. They are there, but the data we share in Europe is not possible to use. There are a huge lobby organization there for different sectors that doesn't want this we're talking about here to happen. So how can we make a counterweight to that?
Yes, and that's a good bridge to my, I think, last question, because I would like to say that we should show more numbers. We should show the success, like the show don't tell. You have to show what this creates of value. And Nina, as being an outsider here, are we telling it enough?
Well, the obvious answer would be no, because, well, who to tell and where and when, I mean, that's difficult. And we try to play our part. I know we have Sarah here today, our communications colleague. So we try to be part of showing and telling. But of course, our reach will be limited. But together we can have quite a huge reach. So we just have to keep on working, I guess. But I think you're making a good job, because you are at different conferences, arenas, and you represent so many organizations. So it will certainly create enthusiasm.
Yeah, and also the models will be different, because Brede is representing Entur, a state-owned company. Johanna, quite something different. So the very last question from me. The advice from the panel to ourselves. How do we work further on with this? And Johanna, I would like you to go first, because you're the different being a commercial actor. So if you could
start the roundup?
So how do we continue from this?
Yeah, and how do you make it happen also for you as being the actor that you are?
Yeah. So yeah, we'll just take a step at a time. So we will launch the sales of the ferry tickets, hopefully hopefully in the beginning of next year, and maybe with more noise by summer. Hopefully 3 ferry companies. Hopefully we will also proceed with the Swedish and Norwegian data, but then of course we are happy that if Entur fixes some problems with Sweden first. Yeah, so I don't know, we just have to, do first things first and then continue from there, and learning all the time by doing, so new ideas come up along the way. So that's the thing how I've learned, that we should not try to plan too much beforehand, like, oh, this is how the world should look like. Of course, you need to have that too, and that's what you have done in Norway. But you didn't see everything in the beginning. You have also learned during the way. We need to have both, and we are maybe doing it more learning by doing due to our resources.
Double mic.
Yeah. I think. Oh, double up. I need to go home in bed. No, but I think there are other elements, something that we have maybe not discussed too much today, but contracts. We have had a project meeting where we also had contract people from Entur into the play, because the whole ticketing thing and the commercial agreements, how do we make that simple? You haven't definitely learned it's not simple with the ferries. But how do we make it simple to give Matkahullto the same access to Sweden and Denmark as Entur does? And it should better be the same kind of rules that works for both operators. But the big thing is who's taking the cost of selling the ticket. That is the biggest issue, and that is something that we need to have addressed. We have some commercial agreements between Norway and Sweden. But it is Entur, of course. So there it makes sense, and we need to see if we can extend that to Denmark. I think that is the next easiest country to get under the umbrella, because it says in the Danish law that thou shalt not limit third parties to sell your tickets. So it's just a matter of getting it done. And then we are always kind of dangling a lot of open source components in front of Matkahullto to say, wouldn't you like to adopt this and that? And then say, we are just doing something else for the moment. But my personal goal is that Matkahullto is adopting at least one open source component before mid-27. And you don't know I have that ambition, but now you know. So just pick one. It might be a little one, but just one.
They are using OTP, so.
Yeah, using OTP, yeah.
So still.
But not the same instance.
No, but we are using data, yeah, in our instance soon. Yeah. But I also emphasize Bogdan and Manuela here as enthusiasts, or are you more stayers working uphill in your country? How can we also within project help others achieve the same thing in their countries, to hinder and stop reinventing the wheel? You are doing fine stuff with Finland, both HSL, Valti, Matkahullto, Finntraffic. So, and there we are developing on the same open source tools. We are using the same tools And eventually, one time in the future, maybe we are using the same physical instance for that.
So, any closing remarks from Nina?
Thank you so much for all the hard work and the very important work you are doing. I was very happy to see that Søren had already planned the next project. I cannot, of course, promise any funding, but you know, all good projects will have a bright future, is my slogan.
This one.
Oh, Jenny, you didn't pay attention.
We'll just go to Brussels and get it.
Yeah, try, but I like the idea. Try also to aim for EU money. That's where the big money is, and you are doing something that the EU asks for, as you said, Søren. And use the rig to develop a pipeline of new projects. Because if you can use projects to also realize your individual goals as businesses or organizations, then you get a win-win situation. And you might not even need that much funding either from the outside. So good luck with the hard work and keep on.
And it's possible to apply for Nordic funding 11th of February.
We have a call for proposals that was launched a couple of weeks ago. 11th of February is the deadline. So have a look.
And with that, I think we put an end to the day. Hopefully, all of us gets their wishes for Christmas, either this year or another year. And I would also like to thank all of you for the participation. Really active gang. And Finland is losing their attention now. Yeah, exactly. So now it's, I guess it's yeah, no, it's, but thank you so much for holding out until 15:55. And I guess I'll see you around at the Nordic, or the Inform Norden and kollektivtrafikkonferansen Tuesday, Wednesday. Jenny?
No, just a short note, this is actually serious to me. There will be a survey sent out to you all, so if you kindly could take time to answer what, like from a content-wise, could be improved, and what we should discuss, etc. That would be lovely. That would be great if you took your time for that.
Perfect. And now I think Brede is trying to figure out where he has booked a table for tonight. That's Rør. Bare Rør.
Lily wants to say
Lily.
more before they go for... I don't need to
You.
for that. You don't have to record this.
That's why I didn't take the mic. So there's a lot of things that's coming up, but I have a serious problem. Everyone can see that Waltz is missing, and so I'm not missing Waltz, but I'm missing a ticket for tomorrow. So if anyone has a good connection to get me an opportunity to get a ticket for Inform Norden for tomorrow, then I will be super glad.
So that should be one that has got ill or something?
I can ask from the HSL guys, is everyone like available, or have they lost someone already?
There's a huge waiting list, unfortunately.
The waiting list is closed. So.
Yeah, but we sneak you in. Yeah, so I think it's a very small area for everyone. It's 500 people.
I don't think we want to hear more. you figure it out.
Okay, now we pirate.
Very crazy.
So, does everybody understand this concept? Brede?
So good in Norwegian, it says 60 beers and 4 mjød. That's some old beer, I think. Old time. And so old wine. So thank you.
The address is... on my computer?
Google Maps or something?
Just paste.
What?
Google Maps, yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's a journey. It's a journey.
These are prospects.
Yeah, I mean, getting Denmark. A bit
Right now.
ITS Norge. Ikke sånn sikkert?
Ja, men du får det klart.
Og gå, ja. 50 minutes walk.
Directions are on the screen. The microphone is very low.
Yeah, you have cats coming down from Norway, but also Swedes in Scotland.
All the fair information that you are now getting from spreadsheets in Netix, it's in the Netix data. Exactly. For instance, we've made a profile for a ferry from Copenhagen to Oslo and included the various fares and cabins and all the things that you need. And it's the same with the train. So what Netix has on top of ETFS is not only the route, but also other information that are necessary for you to make decisions.
Yeah, I mean, ferry is another topic, maybe with some dynamic pricing as well, but traveling from Copenhagen
I think you could
Göteborg
have a look on the Netix data from Norway is obviously open.
Yeah, we should look.
So have a look on the fair data to see that. Because I don't know, do you have any tests going on in Norway at all?
Yeah, in Drammen, right here. This is a distance-based, like a new thing that we set up, but we are obliged to connect to the centralized system, which is the same for us.
Yeah, but all in Drammen they are also using that.
Yeah.
But what the Into is doing through the national access program is that they publish both Netix full profiles, but they also publish DTFS as just a subset.
Yeah.
So it's a true subset. Yeah. So any data that you find in the DTFS is also in the Netix and vice versa.
Ja.
Sätter du den tillbaka där eller ska jag sätta den?
Jag kan ställa det.
Ja.
When they getting to Istanbul.
Oh, can I have the mic? Kan du hjälpa mig bara? Nu var det där. Så hade jag mycket på händerna.
Jos
Väldigt bra, tusen tack.
Tämä on niinku semmoinen, pitää ymmärtää, kun julkinen sektori kilpailuttaa lipujärjestelmää. Mä ymmärrän sen, että joo, olisi kiva, että joo, että julkinen toimija kilpaa lipujärjestelmää niin kuin etuun.
Kiitos.
Joo.